In this video, I will discuss 5 things that Mercedes-AMG does better than BMW M. And also, I'll discuss the 5 things that M does better than AMG. This video will discuss more specifically the older M cars and AMGs that are over 10 years old, since they have become very attainable. They are both popular choices in the used market for enthusiasts. Number 1. Mercedes has better build quality. The basic platform and chassis of Mercedes-Benz cars, such as the W211, W212, and W204, are well built. With BMW, there are major concerns about cracks in the frame of the car, such as the M346 and E36, as well as other BMWs. These issues, such as the subframe, were never fixed with a recall, and they're especially bad on M cars because of their higher performance drivetrains. While this only happens to a fraction of BMWs, it is always something that you have to worry about, keep inspecting with these older BMWs. Mercedes has had issues too, but they've never been this dramatic. Mercedes issues are, for example, their air suspension leaks or fuel sender issues, but those again are more forgivable. And for example, Mercedes in the US did a recall on the fuel senders for the E55, whereas BMW and the subframes, that stuff is all on the owner's terms and costs. BMW hasn't really owned up to much of that. Number 2, AMGs have always had monster engines with plenty of torque. You don't have to rev the engine out like crazy in an AMG to get the car moving quickly. The E55, for example, has 520 pound-feet of torque, and that wasn't matched by an M5 until the 2015 competition M5, over 10 years later. Number 3, Mercedes have superb comfort and great road noise isolation. Mercedes has been known to do comfort and luxury better than BMW. AMGs generally have better seats than M cars that really hold you in the corners while still being comfortable. Number 4, older AMG Mercedes are more affordable. Since many BMW M cars come with a manual transmission and other enthusiast items, they are more expensive on the used market than AMGs. For the price of a perfect condition E55, you could only get an E39 M5 in subpar condition. Number 5, Mercedes are more reliable. Older Mercedes-AMG cars have very reliable powertrains, especially the engines before the M156. Engines like the M113K are workhorses that have very little issues. While BMW M engines are very technical, they also suffer from many issues, such as many M engines chewing through rod bearings, especially in cars like the E60 M5. Additionally, BMW Vanos variable valve timing also adds more complications to the engines. With that being said, newer AMGs, like the cars with the M156, the 63s, have had head bolt issues, which puts them more in line with BMW. Older AMGs have Mercedes' very reliable 722.6 automatic transmission. While it isn't fast and responsive, it is very reliable, especially compared to the SMG semi-automatic gearboxes that were available in the E46 M3 and the E60 M5. Now I'll discuss the 5 things that BMW M does better than AMG. Number 1, M cars have a better driver focus. The steering feel in M cars is generally better. The same goes for the brake feel and the overall feedback through the controls. M cars have honed their suspension setup and chassis balance, and Mercedes has only brought their cars up to this level with its very latest models. Number 2, M cars have a key advantage of being available with manual transmissions. Manual transmissions provide more driving fun and engagement, as well as retain a timeless appeal going into the future. Manuals are almost impossible to find on AMGs, let alone any Mercedes in North America. They are only featured in some older Mercedes such as the 190E Cosworth and some other regular non-AMG Mercedes in North America. Number 3, BMW M cars have very exciting engines. While they may be less reliable and less torquey than AMG engines, they do have features that make them very exciting and fun to drive. Having a red line of 8,000 RPM or even higher is definitely a thrill. Also, while the SMG gearboxes are not as reliable as Mercedes automatics, they are fun to drive because of their aggressive, sporty shifts. Number 4, M cars have better color selections, especially for interiors. BMW generally offers a vibrant selection of colors with plenty of individual options. They have legendary colors such as Le Mans Blue, Laguna Seca Blue, and great interior colors such as Cinnamon on this M3. Benz colors are more muted and subtle. For specialty color combos on Mercedes, you have to spec up to ultra rare Designo editions, and those are very difficult to find. Number 5. Collectability. While older M cars are more expensive to buy, they do hold their values better than AMGs. M3 competition 6-speeds or E39 M5 have extremely strong used market values, and prices are rising on these cars quickly. This is not the case for AMG cars unless it's an E55 wagon or something along those lines because of rarity. Plenty of BMW enthusiasts argue that newer BMWs are worse cars in terms of how they feel and drive compared to the more classic M cars. Whereas AMG, they have definitely improved on many things such as the dynamics, handling, steering, and braking on the newer cars. The result is a convergence. Cars like the 2019 E63S and the 2019 M5 are almost the same car on paper, whereas back in the day, the E55 AMG and the E39 M5 are completely different cars, just as the E46 M3 and the C55 are completely different cars. However, whichever way you go, both AMG and M produced some excellent cars over the years, especially during this time period of the early 2000s. Thanks for watching, and if you like videos like this, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos.